Okay. Hello, everyone. Very good evening, good morning. Please let me know someone if you guys can hear me. Today we have something very interesting. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for someone to confirm. Can anyone please confirm here if you guys can hear me? Hello, Mohini. Hi, Manoranjan. Hi. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining and thanks for confirming. So, you know that in testing space, and in fact, like in software world, we do a lot of testing and development. At the same time, we all are very much concerned. Every testing team, every development team is very much concerned about the security. But how many of are aware about any good product or what you guys are using? While I'm sure like most of us use the postman for API, and pretty much everyone is aware about that product. So is there something that can help us in the security, for the security, when we are doing the development and testing? So something like very interesting and very innovative and amazing solution which I found, Pynt. And today we have CEO and co-founder Zvika of Pynt with us. So without any further delay, let me get him in.
Hey
Hello, Zvika.
everyone. Hey Sanjay, everyone. Great to be here.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you? How's
I'm
your
good,
evening?
thank you. Yeah, so everyone here is Zvika and want to learn more about the Pynt. I just gave a small intro about Pynt, and I'm leaving everything over to you. Now stage is all yours, and please let us know, please tell the community that why you think about Pynt, how did you get about idea about Pynt, what it is, what solution, and how it can help them in security testing, because we all are like, in fact, in community I have been like for so many years now, but it has been like we generally don't talk about like security, any kind of solution. Hardly like anyone might have heard more tools related to security testing, and that too like free for the community. So we love to hear from you.
Great, great. So thank you, Sanjay, for the introduction. It's really great to be here. Can you guys see my screen? It's like the most popular question today. Can you
Yes,
guys
yes,
see
we
my
can
screen?
see.
Yeah,
We can
great.
see.
Okay. So maybe let me shortly introduce myself. So my name is Zvika Schneider. I'm the CEO of Pynt. We started this company a year ago. We are a bunch of R&D and security experts. Took the mission to simplify the whole world of application security and very complex security, and try to make it very simple and accessible for tester and developers. We are located in Israel, in Tel Aviv. The view you see behind me, if you still see it, it's real. It's not a background. So what we're going to be discussing today. Um, sorry. First, a short intro. Second, we talk about API security. What does it mean in general? The problem space. We'll talk about some shift left security initiatives that are happening today, and the trend. We'll do a short demo of our product and some use case analysis and the way it should give you value in a very simple way, and how all of us can be part of the community and join this party.
Sure.
So, why API security suddenly became such an issue. So API are not a new thing, right? It's been there for a while. But in the recent years, it dramatically, the usage of APIs are dramatically getting bigger and bigger, higher numbers. I mean, there is no one I don't know any organization that doesn't develop an API tool, or on the other side, um, an API service, or using an API service. So with the boost of COVID-19, gave it to the industry, so it's all over the place. Even from the technical side, right? We moved from monolith code to microservices, which communicate with each other with APIs, but mainly also on the business side. Everything is API. When a mobile talk to a service, when another backend, another B2B, another business talk to our business, it's with API. It's 81% of the internet traffic today. So if we take that security, because it's so popular, so the security of APIs became such important because API is so popular. So APIs also became the main attack surface for hackers, um, for data breaches, privilege escalations, etc.
So
So
true.
yeah, so even if we take, main big research firms such as Gartner and Forrester, they really position the API security as the number one issue today in the cybersecurity world. And second, they also really, push us, please take care of those stuff already on development time and don't leave things to production. So a few incidents that we had in the recent 1 or 2 years, very famous, the scrapping we had with Facebook, Peloton, with the big data breach, Cassia, which was last year in 4th of July, a big ransomware attack that started from the APIs. And not only that we have a lot of API problems, but also we are running out of security people. I mean, there's a global shortage in security expertise. And it's really, companies are really fighting for security people. You have one security person on 100 developers and testers. That's the relation, kind of. So it became a really big issue, and we are now, really in the hype of that issue.
Yeah.
So what's the trend today with overall solution? So shift left security sounds exactly right. When we say shift left, is to take practice that we used to do the more late in development stage or only in production, and we shift them left to the start of the process. And why it's important to do it with security. First, it really reduced the whole friction between R&D, security team, CISO, testers, etc. It saves a lot of time to go back to bugs when they are discovered before production, or in the worst case after production. And in the end, development team are more focused, security team are more focused, and the API security issue is not, and security issues are not like becoming like hot potatoes. And in the end, we have much lesser security incident, which is, our main goal. Again, our main goal is not to be secured. Our main goal is to have a really good business and an app that supported business. But also, the one of the ways to do it, or at least it's a must, to make sure that your product is secured. So which kind of tools today our organization, mainly R&D organization, are using for shifting left security? So we're going to talk about a few categories, to get us all more, educated around that. So we have SCA. SCA means software composition analysis. It actually takes the code, review the code, find where do you use a third-party library, an open source that might have some vulnerability that someone scanned, and then it takes that open source and check with an external database whether you have vulnerability, known vulnerability in that open source, and help you fix it. It's more about the static scan. By the way, when I say static scan versus dynamic scan, static scan is you look on the code like an essay, like the text, and you try to understand the potential of the code of becoming security issues. And dynamic scan, which is, by the way, where we are more Pynt, it actually means that you have your application up and running, and the same way you do functional tests, so you do also security test when everything is really up and running. So for the API specifically, SEA and SAST are very good practices in general, but they are not a good solution. They are not an enough solution for the API, because API introduced new security issues. So, back then everything was around cloud configuration or small things in code. But now the API introduced a new attack surface, which everything comes down to the payload that you have, and that payload and that API trigger another API, which trigger another API, and come back with all the response. And that's a big mess. And this is why today it's not really happening, because it's a bit complicated. So what's it really, why it's not happening today? We just discussed it a bit. I will maybe expand on it. Um, so who is responsible for your application security? Who is the security teams in your organization, the developers, the tester, the DevOps? By the way, if you are all listening in the chat, if you can drop some notes on this question, it will really help us understand. But the thing is, the reality today, it's not defined. Security teams are really overwhelmed and have a lot of issues and to work on, and they're not really taking ownership end to end from development to production, because they have a lot of stuff on their hands. Developers are really focused on finish the sprint on time, delivering high quality code solution. Security is a second or third priority. Tester today would love to test API security, would love to test security the same they do functional test, but we don't have the right tool for them. And DevOps, for some organization, we really appoint the DevOps and the pipeline for all the testing, and which we include the security testing. So the conclusion here, that it's somehow application security, and more specifically API security, which is very important, but still it's falling between the cracks. So another reason is that today there's no right tool. I mean, we have very advanced, in the word, very advanced security tools, but it's really designed for security people. We are, as a developers, as testers, as R&D, we don't want to go and work with a dedicated tool for security or for performance or something else. We want to live and we want to work in our own native tools and environment, and be able to enhance those environments with the new features and new requirements of what we should do. So R&D teams also, they are lacking of domain expertise in security. So most of us know security, know hacking, know it by the titles, but most of the R&D teams are not really security experts. And you know what? They should not be security experts. This is not the main profession. They should be delivering a high quality code that works in a minimal time. And R&D teams are super busy, because again, R&D really today, in the world of today, the R&D organization really runs the business.
Yes. And why don't you tell us, like, what is the solution today? People are trying for this thing. What you are going to show the solution Pynt. Like, what is there if Pynt is not there right now? So
Yeah.
people don't have anything, or what?
So what happening today, in reality, so most of organization are not dealing with that. They just have some, security bugs in production, and
Yes,
they
yes,
pay the price later, or in once, whether they have hack. By the way, like in general, in the cybersecurity world, we hear on the hacks, for example, only if we talk only about the API hacks. So the famous hacks, the one that in the news, are like less than 1% from all the incidents that you have on daily basis. Most of the incidents are not even known, so it's there. The issue is there, and what organizations are doing today, either they don't do, either they think they
yep,
do, kind of more annual pen test, not to do it continuously, doing one time, one point of a time, or in some organization, the security persona, the security engineer is some kind want to run some kind of tool on that. But today, the fact that it's not really happening, not on the dev side, not very well on the security side, from the perspective of API security testing,
yep,
there is a trend right now. There is a trend right now of companies and solutions, and we're not just doing this webinar for nothing, right? There is a hype on API. There's a hype on API security because there's a hype on API, but this problem is not solved yet. It's not solved
yes,
yet,
yes.
and this is what we're trying to do.
Great,
So
great. Yeah,
what is Pynt? and what are guidelines when we developed Pynt. So first, we want our first concept was, we want to work with the developers, tester, DevOps, R&D teams, and make them have a very simple access to a testing tool that doesn't require any configuration from them. It means that in what we do now, okay, we're really relying on the dynamic on the functional test that we as a tester we develop. This is our main business. We want to make sure the functional work, and we're using that functional test to also allow us to do some non-functional tests, for example, security. We're integrating into developers and testers native tools. We have a solution on Postman UI. We'll just show it. We have a solution for Newman, which is Postman CLI. We have other integrations in pipeline. Like every other week, we add in something else. And we started with Postman, by the way. We've been all like a Postman users in 2014, 2015, and Postman is a very big community, like very successful community, doing
Indeed.
API testing. And we thought like how first we can give back to that community, and second, it for us, it's a very good tapping point. Lots of users, lots of relevant users, and if we want to make a difference and provide value, so that's the best place to start it. The third rule was accurate result, very fast, few minutes, doesn't hold you back from your daily work, and you get a very clear results. I mean, a very simple language for R&D, not
Yep.
for security. Um, no configuration, no effort on that. And in the end, we are very community driven, and we'll talk about it during the demo and the slides. We want you to join the community on Slack, use the product, provide us feedback. In the end, by the way, this is what I will show is the free community version that will be free forever. And we learn and we improve it by your request, and we are working for you, the user. So please bombard us with requests and features, and we'll talk about that. So
Yep.
just take a short look on that illustration. So really, Pynt really work in that integration specifically with Postman. Pynt know how to take the functional test, understand them, run them, learn the traffic, and from that generate security tests and show you already the results in 2-3 minutes in your own native tool with the clear call to action of how to fix it. Okay, so we'll go in demo time right now. So let me open my Postman.
Sure.
Yeah, by the way, I
Good
just made,
thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Good
I
thing
just,
about Pynt is this, that it comes integrate, like you can directly start with Postman, and everybody you have Postman out there. So yep, quickly everyone can get started with Pynt. And
yeah,
really encourage people to like just explore this. This will really help a lot. I'm trying this for a long time now. And one more question, like before you start the demo, like how quickly people can start? Like it can just take 30 seconds or 1 minute to get started with Pynt.
well, so I will show it end to end, but in general, it takes around a minute or 2 minutes, including
Wow,
downloading the Docker to start with
awesome,
Pynt, and the run itself is around 2 minutes. And we're
great.
improving it, and we're improving, the experience as we go along. We learn from the users, and we
Great.
give very high priority for user requests, because in the end, it's not us inventing something; it's hearing from the
Yes, yes.
users.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, whenever there's a product is in like early stage, it's always with the it evolve and grows with the user feedback. So yes, we are looking forward to hear from all of you guys. If you have any feedback, any question, do put into the comment section and let us know.
Okay, do you see OWASP right now in my browser?
Yes.
Yeah, guys, I'm sorry, I just skipped it up before. So who invent, what does it mean, API security? What is the categories? Who is defining it? So in the end, there is a very popular organization called OWASP. It's a big famous one, has a branch in Europe, in US, other continents. And OWASP is a non-profit organization that handle and help with security frameworks and regulations, and really it's like Wikipedia for AppSec with a lot of tools. So they took the initiative to define what are the top 10 issues with APIs in security. So you can see just an example here. It's not an example; it's the actual list. Those each one of them are categories. So we have 10 type of categories. Each one of them, it's like a big world of a lot of tests with different types. For example, if we'll take the injection, so injection, including SQL injection, no SQL injection, command injection, etc. So that's a lot under this umbrella, and also other stuff. So I will not go very technical on that. I will send on the links on the comments on the YouTube. You can read about it. But in the end, we want you to have the minimal knowledge of what does it mean of API security, and all the other. We as Pynt, want to do that magic and help you fill the gap between being security expert and fixing a bug. Because in this phase of development, security is a quality issue. It's not a security issue, it's a quality issue, mainly in the API world, which is all about the business logic and what happens in the payload. So I will send
Yeah.
on the links later, going back to the demo. So um, So now I'm in my Postman desktop app, as you can see. So what I did, I went to Postman Pynt workspace at Postman. I will send on the links to our website and how to do it a bit later, just after this call. But we're going to Pynt workspace. We need to fork Pynt. That's the first step. The second step, if we want, we have another a reference app called Goat. It's just an app the target app that we want to test. In this case, we developed a vulnerable app for us to showcase, Pynt, and show you for today the demo and the use case and the findings. What does it mean? So in your example, it will be the app that you are really, developing and testing. But you also have the option to fork it from our workspace, and then you can just test Pynt with this collection. So you fork both. You install the Docker, one command here, whether you use desktop for Windows, Mac, or Linux, or just Docker Engine for Linux, and that's it. You're all set up with a prerequisite. And for running Pynt, you have to do one small thing. You have to go to variables in Pynt collection, just add the name of the collection you want to test, and add your API key. API key is in Postman. When you go to your cloud, you can really generate your API key, get it, and actually work with your collection cloud based, and fetch everything from there. So after you put those two parameters of API key and collection, you just go here and you just run Pynt. And what Pynt is doing right now is taking your functional test from your API key, running the functional test, getting it into our engine. So our main point, our main IP in the company is not that integration with Postman or something else, right? This is the engine, it's the cybersecurity engine that can get any API traffic. And API traffic means the whole story of request and response. It all happens locally in the Docker, in your machine. We analyze it, we learn it, and from that we are able to generate a very smart, sophisticated API security testing. Some of the testing are being built in dynamically. This whole thing should happen between 2 or 3 minutes, and after this is done, when you can see it, I guess in kind of 10 seconds, it will be done. We also provided a nice report that you can fetch from Postman. So the kind of hack that we did here, I mean, We did it for you to be able to stay in Postman and use Postman while you handle, security testing, and not go on that specific tool. So you go on Pynt collection, you have a show report, and you just push on
And where
send.
we can see the fail and pass, we can see it here.
Yeah, you can go just on send, go to visualize button, and then we generated a local HTML for you for this, so you can see the whole run, your scan ID if you need to contact us with support, the summary, the endpoints that we saw, the summary of the security testing themselves, details finding, we'll go over it, some security warnings, which endpoints are related to that. And this we are improving on weekly basis. We're getting ideas from you for visualization, for different kind of testing, etc. So with this really improving on daily, kind of on every 2 days we have a new version. In general, this is the way we do. We have on almost on daily basis a new version with hotfix and whatever requests or bugs we get in from community. So let me provide you a few examples. For example, we can see, take one. Let's talk about the BOLA, broken object level authorization. So we put here OAuth category. We know it's more for security people, but we put it at least in the beginning. But in the end, it's a bug. This is the vulnerability. The description is really clear for testers, for developers, and really help them and push them to take ownership of this, because it's really simple. So in this case, what does it mean, the broken object level authorization? In simple words, it means that me as a user, I will able to fetch and get others users data. In this specific case, we said there is no authorization on the resource identifier user ID in endpoint transaction. We embed in the description all of the information that we saw. We don't need access to code at all. We are code agnostic, tech agnostics.
And does it
And
also provide the, like, how can they fix it? Like, what is the solution for these uh, vulnerabilities?
yeah, for example, we try to make it very simple. How to fix it? Verify that the
Oh,
logged user is allowed to read resource identifier in that transaction endpoint. So we're really trying to
good.
keep it simple. I mean, what we see here now look very simple, but in the background, in the back, there's a very sophisticated engine that we worked on for a very long time. Um, as I mentioned, all of us are security people, researchers, R&D. We worked. Most of us worked together at Harman before doing cybersecurity research there. Some of us work with the intelligence force. So we bring all our expertise and knowledge and try to simplify shift and left for developers and testers. We also added some security warnings. Feel free you to go over that later. But the thing that you need to understand here, if you take something from this session, that should be the thing. It's very simple to test API security testing. I mean, it's very simple to test API for security this way, and 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 not doing that and not investing that 2-3 minutes can really result in a lots of problem, whether if it's organizational problems and effectiveness, when a bug is discovered a bit late and then you delay the deployment, etc. And in worst cases, when you have actual incidents in production. By the way, most of the companies that are being attacked by API today are not aware of that. They don't know they are part of security incidents and someone hacked them at the API. They kind of blind to that. So this is why the problem is even bigger than what the industry think.
Yes.
Uh, yeah. So this is an overview of what we do and how we do it. Let me go back to my presentation. Okay, any questions until now?
Guys, do you have any question? Feel free to ask here. Okay.
Okay, great.
Zika, we can continue with the demo, and then yeah, if any question, I will let you know.
Yeah, I think we kind of can summarize it.
Yes.
For me, for whoever listening now, or in the near future, or in the far future, when things are will be in the internet forever. So this is the time to be part of our community. Please join our community. We have it on go on our website. The link, I think Sanjay put in the comments. Just join our Slack. We provide a lot of announcement, but mainly get feedback, feature requests, and we communicate very fast there with a very short SLA. Um, our tool is free. It's free forever, at least this part. So don't worry about starting using it and then started paying for that, because this will not be the case for this.
Yeah.
Um, and doing that will also allow you to have more in-depth knowledge in security, to educate yourself. So we are, as a testers, we want to add that skill set of security, because quality security is part of quality. And I think as tester, if we had add in that skill set, it really make us stronger, one, in front of the R&D developers. And in the end, I think this is something that fall between the cracks, and a tester can take the ownership. So take ownership on your own security testing. If it's simple, just do it. And bottom line, and in the end, please feel free to subscribe to our website. Sanjay will send the link below. We started a new badge plan, meaning that you can get early adopter or ambassador, and really be part of the community of what we do. We already have some hundred of users. We want to have more. We work for the users. It's really important for us, once, give back to that community. Second, really lead that revolution of taking the whole complex world of cybersecurity, application security, and really shifting it left to the beginning of the development life cycle, and put it in the hand of the who owns the code and the test, which are mainly the R&D developers, testers. So I
Yeah.
think
So
this
great.
is for
Zika,
now.
couple of things. Can you just show people like how they can join the Pynt community? So like, do we have something like Slack channel or something where people can join and like they can communicate with uh, Pynt?
Yeah, sure. And you have like a full wizard of how to use Pynt, and like we have a video on YouTube. So it's very simple. I'm not going to give it right now.
Sure.
Right. Yeah.
And if something like, let's say, if some people find something, some issue or some recommendation or some feature request at Pynt, so do we have some kind of repo where they can raise a ticket or something like that?
Well, yeah, we have a GitHub. We have the
Great.
GitHub of Pynt. So feel free. Let's use it. Sorry. Open a
Okay.
ticket there, open a support, whatever.
Perfect.
We answer
Perfect.
very fast. Second, if you go to our website, so you can get your badge here.
Sounds
Just
good.
read it. You can become an early adopter. Really simply, just download Pynt, run it through your own collection. You can become an ambassador. Well, we invest more in education and help you with your tests, etc. And you are spreading the word to your friends. And you have that button of join the community. It actually takes you to Slack. Our community is based on community channel based on Slack.
Great. There we have one question, Zika, for you. Is
Should I
Pynt?
see the question somewhere?
Yes. No, no. You can just see it on your screen and read it, or maybe like I will read it for you. Rohit is
Okay.
asking, is Pynt tracking all our API request?
Okay, let me stop sharing,
Yeah.
and you can see me now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Pynt is not tracking your API request. I mean, the Docker is tracking, because and the Docker is sits on your machine. We don't need your data. We don't need the values. What we do, in actual, how the engine is working, it takes the whole API traffic, meaning the result of your functional test, which you do in Postman. So we take that traffic, we put it in the engine analysis, analyze everything happen on premise, and we don't need your data. We just build anonymized models, send us the analytics of the model, but we don't need an email password or whatever, because it's really black box and doesn't really matter the values. It's about the way things structured and the results. So we don't store the whole API request. By the way, we are also in a SOC 2 process right now. We have EULA, by the way, and privacy policy. You can see everything there, but we're not using any data. It's not important for us. The data we are using is if there is finding. So we want to know there was a run and a finding, because we want to know if our product works in general.
Great. Yeah. Thanks. I guess that answered your question, Rohit. Anyone else? Any question?
Yeah. Okay. For the sake that people will join later, see it later. I think the main
Yeah.
thing is really like the onboarding is 2 minutes. Like
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
it takes more to go to the kitchen and make coffee. So I really think, just invest 2 3 4 minutes in this. You'll be more educated. You add security to your skill set. Start handling that, getting more knowledge, getting even more responsibility, organization, and even build your career with a new tool set. And also help us in the end, leading that revolution. Everybody talk about security, cyber, but I think the way it should be happening, it's beginning at start, whether if it's developers or tester, because security issues are quality issues. I think that's the main takeaway from here.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. And in fact, like I mean, these couple of things are really helpful. That it runs in your local. It doesn't take any kind of your data. And like, to get it started with this thing, it is like so easy, just 1 or 2 minutes, and then we all have the postman, we all use that, so nothing extra thing is required, and it is also recommended by the postman. You can see it on postman website, so that's another plus point is always there. And yes, definitely, like, we all are like lacking in security. We don't learn much about that, we don't do much about security testing, so this is going to be very very helpful. And when it's free, so what is stopping you to try it out? So yeah, I will definitely recommend this and try this, guys. This will help.
Mm, Great.
And
And
yeah,
again,
before
also,
installing it, you need to have the Docker. You can install Docker, and then you can get it started with this.
yeah, in future we're gonna have on the SaaS version, but we are focusing on Docker right now, because we want to remove any barriers from testers and developers using SaaS. Someone is attacking me from the outside right now. What does it mean? So we really want to keep privacy and your whole engine and the whole core in your network. Also, this way you are able to validate internal APIs and not just external APIs. Because the one constant is security, right? You have the first line from defense and you have the second line, right? So you have the first door in the API and you have internal API, which is the second door. And sometimes the most interesting stuff are after the second door. Um,
Yeah.
so again, please, download it, use it, and most importantly, let us know what do you think, and how can we help you improve it and improve this usage personally and your organization.
Yes, definitely. I hope like people will give it a try, and they will try, and definitely they will join the Pint community, and any feedback or anything, they will definitely share it. Like, I have seen people with the community products, they our community used to try that new products and they love it, and they also help a lot with the great feedbacks. So yes, I'm looking forward to that. And definitely, like, it's an early stage, so lots of great innovation, and more, it is going to evolve a lot. So definitely Pynt will help us a lot in our security testing. So yes, any other questions, guys? Anything? Zika, you want to add anything more? Like, uh, what
No,
is like
I
kind of like roadmap or something? Anything new which is coming forward for the community in Pint? Like any hackathon or something like you batch you mentioned. So
yeah.
yeah,
So first, regarding with to roadmap, so we are really focused on that right now. Our community version and supporting our community, getting the feedback and building the product in the shape of the community. So we're very focused on that. This is why we started with Postman, because this that was the most of the community. But we are not Postman specific. We also have solutions for IDE and other API testing platforms, but we are
great.
giving the main focus right now on Postman. So we'll have other integrations as well, but I'm not sure. But I know, like for specific, this audience, we are more focused on Postman as an API testing tool. In our roadmap, so we add in tests all the time. We add in new visibility of what we understood from the API, and also new visualization of the all of our findings and insights, not just security findings, also some
Yes.
insights. Um, we adding it all the time, improving. Like, go to our Slack channel, ask for a feature, and see how fast can we reply and provide a solution. Um, in the end, our goal is to have a full enterprise version, same journey as Postman's, as client, right? And then a more big enterprise, a more bigger tool, and then a platform that you sell to enterprise. So in our roadmap, this is what we aim for.
Great.
For now, we are
Mhm.
really focused on that. As for other activities, so we have the badge activity. We might have kind of a hackathon, which in the end we want to educate more the users. And I think that the one best thing that we can provide the users today is really like to listen to every feature request and make sure we are aligned with that, and help them be more effective in their organization.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Good to know that like it is going to expand soon with other tools as well, not just it is not just limited to Postman, because yes, lots of people have that thing as well, that is it limited to, or it is going to limited to Postman. So good that you added that point. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, one popular use case we have is the CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment. So not only just testing it locally in Postman, also you have Postman CLI, Newman. It's an automated test, automating Postman collection tests. So we have integration with that. In the end, we have a lot of adoption that people, integrate the product into the CI/CD pipeline with Jenkins and everything, to be part of the development process. So we aim to own, all the R&D side and the security testing there. For each organization today, the requirement is a bit different because there's no, clear ownership today for that. But I think we get in there, if like, for example, Sanjay, 2 years back, you wouldn't do any webinar about security for testers,
No,
right?
I never did. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what like my first thing was
Yes.
like we don't even talk about much about security. We all just do like this UI automation, Selenium automation, or some kind of like basic things. But whenever security things comes, we are like zero. Does anyone would like to mention any product, like any tool which you know about from the security space or anything you are using? I believe like very few might be aware about anything.
Yeah.
I'm
And
personally not.
this is why we don't want to take, all the user for a long ride. We just want them to keep their own work, their own tool, and this is why we try to, build a very advanced engine and elegantly integrate it into popular dev tester tools, etc. So the trend is there, is going there. Please, I think we can finalize with that, Sanjay. Like, take ownership, go to our website, start your journey, join our
Yeah.
community, and we're really looking forward. Yeah, I see someone is mentioning Zap. Zap is a great tool,
Mhm.
but Zap is not for API security. And also,
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of testers and developers adopted Zap. It's more on the family of application security engineers. Um, yeah, but it's a great tool, great open source for web application security testing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can just like see if any other question. Yeah, there's a feedback. Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for the great tool. Yeah,
feel free.
definitely.
We're very accessible. We're accessible in the community. In our email, my email is my name Zvika at Pynt.io. We have supports. LinkedIn. We are very accessible. Talk to us. Talk to us. It's really important to us.
Yes, yes, definitely, guys. And you guys can connect with Zvika on LinkedIn. You can follow him. You can connect him. Any feedback, you guys can write to them on. Just check it out on their website, pine.io. So yes, and we will be here for another 1 2 minutes. If you have any question, feel free to ask. And thank you so much, Zuka, for giving this insight, taking this insightful session. It was really, really helpful. I learned a lot, many things which I was not aware about security because I mean, been there in testing space for quite some time, but yeah, we don't get to know much about these things. We talk about basic things, testing, automation, manual automation, and all. But yeah, these things are really, really important. And whenever, like, in fact, we go to admin or IT team, they always talk about like how secure your product is. Like whenever you have to take any product in house or something, security is the main point. In fact, like when I go today with like selector sub or anything, everybody used to ask how secure it is. So security is like very, very important thing.
Yeah, and it's less complicated than using Selenium, for example. Like we are as an automation, engineers are very using the Selenium other tools. This is 2 clicks, and you get insights. It would be a shame not to do it.
Yes, 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 definitely. I believe like everybody is going to give it a try. This is just like 1 or 2 minute thing, so definitely we should try. In fact, uh, like it is going to help us in that perspective as well. That you will learn something new. Like when you will try hands on Pynt and then you explore this tool and you will learn about the security testing as well at the same time. So do give it a try. Check out this. Nothing is going to harm. Everything is free. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. So I guess there are no more questions. So with that, thank you so much, Zuka, once again, and thanks
Thank you,
everyone
Sanjay.
for joining. Yeah, it was great session. We learn a lot, and definitely people are going to give it a try, and they will be using it. I hope like with this, people will be able to improve their security of their product and API. So yeah, thank you once again, Zuka, and everyone out there for joining. Thanks
Um,
everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye bye. Have a great night.